there is an immigration debate that's being advertised on the internet, being run by Matt Goodwin and Konstantin Kisin in March, and that is in London on the 18th of March. The debate of our time: is immigration good for Britain? And I wish them the best of luck in that debate. But we've had that debate for the last 50 years, and you could go round and round and round on that forevermore, because like all things, there's some good elements and there's some bad elements, and if you've not chosen your sides by now, then you're clearly not particularly interested in the debate. So we've gone beyond, in my view, we've gone beyond whether it's good or bad. You choose your side, and our side is to stop the level of mass immigration that we have going on at the moment. In fact, it's now come to the stage that I've invented a new word today. And it's a controversial word, but I was thinking, how can you sum up what amounts essentially to an invasion across the channel? Tens of thousands of people coming across the channel that we're not stopping. That is an invasion. In fact, it's an immigration invasion. In fact, it's an Immi-vasion. An Immi-vasion. That's the new word that I'm going to start publicising now. We have to stop this Immi-vasion. And if I get interviewed by this television company, that's the word that I'm going to start pushing into society, pushing into consciousness. Immi-vasion. We have to stop the Immi-vasion, because that's what it amounts to. It's gone beyond immigration, and it's basically become like an invasion. A peaceful invasion, of course, that needs to be stopped democratically and peacefully, but it does have to be stopped. And the time for debating ideologues about whether it's good or bad, that's over. In fact, it was basically the House of Lords that ended that debate, because back in 2008 they looked at all of the arguments, and a select committee put together a fantastic report, and we'll put the link out there in the threads. But it's the House of Lords report on the economies of immigration back in 2008, and they looked at it from all sides, and they come up with the point of view that it was very much overrated, and there were precious few economic benefits to the nation, that the only benefits economically were to those who wanted to pay lower wages, and to the immigrants themselves, who would be getting higher wages than they might have got had they been elsewhere. But it was not, and they made it quite clear, it was not advantageous to the actual native population, which they defined as the British citizens and British people, people in Britain who had long-term leave to remain. So that ended the debate of whether immigration was good for the economy or not. But unfortunately, the system deep-sixed it, and they didn't talk about it, and we're still here today in 2024 wondering whether it's good or bad. Well, we've made our decision that we want to stop it, and the question is, how do we go about doing that, and how do we stop the people who want to stop us from stopping it? And in that regard, we're up against the legal firms, we're up against the so-called charities, we're up against the NGOs, and we're up against the British government that pays millions of pounds a year in legal aid to the lawyers' firms, and millions of pounds a year to the NGOs and charities which work to perpetuate the Immi-vasion. And the time now has come for action. And what we're going to be witnessing, unfortunately, is Keir Starmer probably coming in, winning, and making things a whole lot worse. And that's just a period that we're going to have to go through before new political ideas and new political movements come together to stop it. But the main parties Tories, Labour, Lib Dem, SNP will do nothing to stop it, and will do everything really just to allow it to continue, unfortunately. So we are entering interesting times in the next couple of decades, no question about that. Yes, we're allowed to talk about it, but we're not allowed to stop it. And that's a very interesting dynamic that we've got here in the United Kingdom. And the Conservative Party, well, they've had all this time in power, and they're not going to change it, and they're not going to stop it. Not now, not ever. Because they're in the pockets of people who don't want to stop it. And if they're not in the pockets of it, they're in the minds of those people. They follow the ideology of internationalism rather than an ideology of putting the country first in all of these matters.